guys, it's 21 Maxwell here and welcome to another WWE update video from my offline save. The pay-per-view I'm at now is Summerslam, so you could argue it's probably the biggest event I've done so far. Definitely looking like it's going to break the personal attendance record that my shows have had. So quite happy to know that we've managed to book full 24 segments. We've took up the whole quota of 225 minutes. I'm hoping it's a really good show. I will explain every storyline as we go through the show, but it's really just a case of I'm hoping we're at a good position now. I'm looking to take the company hopefully to international pretty shortly, and then when guys want to come up from development, then hopefully we can really push the roster to a brand split. But as it is just now, it's about building those stars because obviously we've got a few guys that are like 38, 39, very good popularity, don't get me wrong, but unfortunately with the declining physical ability, I'd rather not have any penalties, not be penalised for anything, and basically getting as good a rating as possible. But we've been scoring pretty high shows. I've had a couple in the 90s, a couple in the high 80s, so we're in a good position there. Our broadcasters are happy with us. Again, I just want to make money so we can build a WWE network, try that out within the save, and hopefully start buying some companies. The way I've worked it with SummerSlam as well, with my two development companies, the male and the female NXTs, NXT had NXT Brooklyn, just because it would be NXT Brooklyn at this time of year in the save, and we had a female version. I think it was Ladies Night, I think I called it, a really basic name, and that was in the Friday night, so making it like a full proper WWE themed weekend. So without further ado, we'll dive into the show. It's all been booked in proper order, I like to think, just double check. Yeah, we finished with the final angle, so that's cool. I'll just run down the match card when we get there, but I hope you enjoy the show, guys. So, we've managed to fill out 38,492 in the Rice Eccles Stadium. It's a 50,000 seater, which is quite good, and we only get 38,000, but it was either that, we're going to have a lot of folk missing out, so I'll take that. I'll take that, and it gives us, as I say, my best attendance. A couple of pre-show matches for once. In a poor pre-show match, Neville defeats Stardust in 9 minutes and 56 with a shooting star leg drop. We'll just say done the red arrow. D plus 52, these two don't click, which is disappointing. The announcing team and colour commentary gave the match a boost. I will say Jerry the King Lawler has retired, so the main team for events and Raw is now JBL, Michael Cole, and joining them because of his age, and I just felt like he's somebody I can use for a long time. We went with Corey Graves. So both gentlemen with an in-ring performance of 50. I don't anticipate we're going to have the Stardust gimmick much longer. I do want to turn him into Cody Rhodes, unlike real life. I will grant him that. I'm just looking for the best idea to do it creatively, for the best rivalry. Neville, I really need to find something to do. He's someone I think that would benefit if I had a brand split. And the second pre-show match delivered really well. In a decent pre-show match, Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio defeated Gallows and Anderson in 13:21 when Sheamus defeated Luke Gallows by pinfall with a Celtic Cross or a Brogue Kick, whichever finisher you feel. Alberto carried the match in terms of in-ring performance. A solid B-74. Gallows and Anderson both with 65s, Sheamus with 68, Del Rio with 78. Luke Gallows is improving his performance skills. Negatives here you can see Sheamus is one for declining physical ability. I'm assuming Del Rio gets to that stage soon as well. Nothing really for Del Rio and Sheamus, but Del Rio's, if you had the chance to see my top matches that I've done in this save, Del Rio features heavily in most of them. Feuding and tag matches with the likes of AJ Styles and Roman Reigns. Gallows and Anderson, I still need to do something big with the club. Like, they've kind of distanced themselves from AJ, but they don't really have that alliance with Finn Balor at the moment, so I'm unsure if I'm going to go that way or if I make a different club. So I'm still unsure with that one, but that's the plans creatively with them at the moment. So it's really just filler matches, really give them exposure at SummerSlam. So we start the show at the announce desk, and Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and John Bradshaw Layfield, the commentary team, basically hype up our show as you normally would get. You would get the opening package, the pyro, and they're hyping up. Our main event is between Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. So disappointing, it's a C-53. That's all reflecting on the microphone skills of these gentlemen. But hopefully, I say we can get the likes of Corey Graves over, and he can be a solid announcer for us going forward. Our opening contest and a bout that featured good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Rusev defeats Dolph Ziggler in 11:56 by pinfall or by submission, whatever. Just Rusev won, that's the main thing in this storyline. B-74 try to build Rusev back up to be a Bulgarian brute. Ziggler not suited to his gimmick, Rusev getting better at his gimmick. He got the crowd hotter. Dolph Ziggler by 77. I don't ever really have anything planned for Ziggler. Like, he's really just going to be used in his real role at the moment, which is an enhancement talent for guys to get to the main event or upper mid card. Rusev by 69 continues the storyline, which is probably going to end. I want to try and turn Rusev into a major player going into his likes of Survivor Series and that going forward. Maybe try and get him one main event title match. But no skill improvements to speak of. Only negative was the low heat of the storyline, but I say that's probably finishing it. Next up, we've got a video hyping up the feud between Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks was helping Becky Lynch against Team Bad before she decided to turn on her, saying she wanted the championship. Disappointingly, it only gets a D47. It continues the storyline, but I'm hoping the match does far better. And a C plus 66. It's not the highest women's match I've had. A match on SmackDown between Becky Lynch and Charlotte got a B minus 71. So we're getting closer. I do want my ratings to get a bit higher with the women's division, but as I say, it's a long work in progress, and they're certainly young enough where there's a lot of time for them. But in about, they had decent wrestling, but didn't have much heat. Sasha Banks defeats Becky Lynch in 14:11 by submission with a bank statement. Sasha Banks wins the WWE Women's Championship title, so a short reign for Becky Lynch. I think she'll have it 2 or 3 months there. But somebody in real life where I think the title's going on Sasha at SummerSlam. I just felt it was a good opportunity now to push it to Sasha. It then gives me Sasha over, Becky over, Charlotte over, and Paige is over with her thing with Seth Rollins. So with them mostly high 40s, 50 overness, I'm hoping I can push that women's division and try and get it to 60 over, and then so on and so forth. I want to keep it as a women's division. I don't want to integrate it in with other product, with the male athletes. I want to see if I can get them as far as possible as their own division. So Becky Lynch with a 71 in-ring performance, so that just shows how over she's been. Sasha with 58. This match may help Sasha in terms of her overness though, and the Boss and Becky storyline advances. Sasha's improving technical skills. Negatives here, Sasha's inconsistency and the low heat of the storyline. We got to that's got low heat because it's been one that's been constantly focused on. And then after the match, Sasha picks up the victory. She celebrates in the ring. Just a small segment here to show that she is the champion. And that gets a C minus 55. So she's decent overness now if that's the case, so happy with that. Next up, we've got Sami Zayn and he's shown talking to Shane McMahon. Although the angle here states that he's asking to earn a contract, basically what the case is, Cesaro was meant to face the Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. I realised that this was then going to be the 4th time they were facing each other. Sami Zayn had nothing to do, so basically what I've put this angle in is really to say Sami Zayn wants an opportunity. Can he get one off of Shane McMahon? C plus 68 for this segment, which then results in Shane McMahon making the Intercontinental match now between The Miz, Cesaro and Sami Zayn. So I don't get the booking penalty, and it makes sense of why Sami Zayn is added to the programme. So C62 there. The IC title match is coming up a little bit later on in the show, but it was to give Sami Zayn time to get ready in storyline. So next up, it was a bout for the Tag Team Championships. It was a Fatal 4-Way elimination match. And a bout that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd. The Kings of Strong Style, Hideo Itami and Shinsuke Nakamura, have defeated the New Day, the Usos and the Dudley Boys in 13:57. The order of elimination first was the Dudleys, then the Usos, then the New Day. The Kings of the Strong Style have won the WWE World Tag Team Championships. A B minus 75, so a great match up there for the tag division. A great match to get hopefully Hideo and Shinsuke over. Big E with shoulders, head and shoulders above everyone else in terms of ring work. Like, he's really come on. Let's look at this. Kofi and Xavier are an awkward pairing. That's cool. I'll be honest, the New Day is not going to last much longer. Jey Uso was slowed down by his injury. It's shoulder tendonitis he's got, so he's going to have that injury for over a year. So we still have to make him work, but obviously he's going to be slowed down. That's why he doesn't have as big a push as kind of the whole thing they had with Roman for Liagia. I just felt it was time to kind of simmer that down a bit with that injury going to affect him for so long. But excellent and great chemistry between Kofi, Big E, and then the Usos and Dudleys. The match got the crowd hotter. Hideo Itami with 75. A 66 for Shinsuke Nakamura. So again, just try to build him up over on this. Once he's over, which has been the problem at the moment, obviously the minor injury as well, so getting him over is going to be a challenge. After that, it's Big E with 88, just shows like he's ready to get to that next level, so he's going to be someone we're going to push. Kofi with 78, Jimmy with 72, Jay with 70, Devon 66, Bubba Ray with 72. Continues the storyline, which has all 4 teams in it. It was just a case of time to take the titles off the New Day and give it to some fresh tag teams to freshen up our division. Jey Uso improves technical, as does Devon Dudley, and the Rumble skills and performance skills are improved for Hideo Itami, who has proven to be very good in this. But a few negatives there, but overall, it was a chance to elevate a new tag team. After this, having just picked up the victory, the Kings of Strong Style celebrate in the ring. A B-76 is very good. I did not expect to get as high as that, so hopefully they've had a major boost to their overness from this match. So very happy with that, and we'll definitely check out their overness at the end of the show. Then backstage, although it says Kofi Kingston, Big E and Xavier Woods are shown hanging out, it's meant to be a little angle that teases a little bit of tension, that they're a bit frustrated, they've lost their WWE World Tag Team titles. So C plus 69, and then we see there Big E using subtle mannerisms to hint at a future heel turn. I wonder who's turning heel in this group then? That might give it away. So, only negatives there is Xavier Woods' poor gimmick, but overall, the implosion of the New Day is going to be sad, yes it is. Next up, in a decent match for the Intercontinental Championship, Sami Zayn defeats Cesaro and The Miz in 13:22 when Sami Zayn defeated The Miz. We'll just say it was with the Brainbuster, it wasn't. Sami Zayn wins the IC title. Cesaro carried the match in terms of in-ring performance, but it freshens up the IC scene. Big plans for Sami Zayn. A B8 is beyond expectations, so great from them. Sami Zayn off his game. Cesaro in in-ring performance 79. Sami Zayn 68 and The Miz 66. The Miz, great entertainment. The matches are sometimes good, sometimes poor. This occasion he's delivered. No skill improvements to speak of. And another pretty good showing there. A few negatives there, but the poor momentum of The Miz. We'll drag him away for the IC scene eventually, I think. Next up, we've got Chris Jericho cutting a promo, hyping his match with Bray Wyatt. Obviously, we've got the feud between Jericho. It was initially Jericho and Big Show before Big Show got injured against Bray Wyatt. Obviously, Luke Harper's injured, and Rowan and Strowman are back in NXT. So I brought in a guy called Doomsday, who is Abyss. I don't know if that was actually an original name for the character back in the day before TNA, but I brought him in anyway. And he's going to be working with Bray Wyatt. But a B78 there, Jericho and Wyatt's been feuding. Wyatt's a face, I can't turn him just yet, so I'm putting up against people like Jericho. The match itself, though, was okay, but in about they had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Chris Jericho defeats Bray Wyatt in 12:33 with the Codebreaker. During the match, we also had Big Show run in and attack Bray Wyatt. So Big Show's back from injury. It was basically just to make sure, we've got that Jericho alliance formed again. It sounds horrible we're making Wyatt lose these kind of matches, but I think the initial plan will be get frustrated and turn heel once the likes of Harper, Rowan and Strowman are back. Maybe not so much Strowman. We'll probably go Abyss, Harper and Rowan, but Harper should be back in about a month or so, and then we'll kick on from there. So B-75 is good, Wyatt's 70, Jericho's 72, continues the storyline. Bray Wyatt's improving performance skills, and most of the negatives are Chris Jericho, but he's still got a good hand there to have. Next up, we have a hype video playing up Batista versus Finn Balor. Basically, Finn Balor was facing Batista in one of his more recent matches, and Finn Balor scored the pinfall. It was the upset heard around the world. So it was a B-74 for that hype video. Really just a guy to try and elevate Finn Balor to the upper mid-card, which has worked perfectly so far. Trying to get him to the next level. Batista was just a bit of name value that I felt could put people over. The match itself was a disappointing C68, but in about they had good heat and decent wrestling. Finn Balor has defeated Batista in 12:31 with a roll-up. I think we had to keep Batista strong, so that's probably why the rating wasn't as high as it should have been. But Balor was 78, Batista 63. The main thing is it gets Finn Balor over. Batista is really going to be an enhancement talent. I think it's a short-term deal as well. I do have kind of maybe a plan to put him in some sort of faction with Triple H and be frustrated, but at the moment, that's his role, enhancing future talents to build up a main roster for when he's going to retire. Next up, we've got a hype video hyping AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar. This is a B plus 87. It continues the Who the Hell is AJ Styles storyline. Basically, AJ Styles picking up a lot of victories. Paul Heyman's like, who's this guy getting all this hype? Does he really think he's the best? Does he think he's phenomenal? Has he met Brock Lesnar? And then they've started feuding from that kind of way forward. Match itself was decent. Again, I had to protect Brock Lesnar. He wasn't willing to go over because of his creative control. Normally, I would have put Brock Lesnar over, but I feel like AJ Styles is someone who's going to be with us the whole time. Although I can use Brock Lesnar on every show, even though he's an occasional wrestler, I'm trying to keep it realistic in the sense that he is going to be like for marquee events. And despite all this, AJ Styles is more over. So, which is hard to believe, but that is in this game apparently. So maybe shows how much we've added to AJ Styles' popularity. But in an exceptional match, AJ Styles defeats Brock Lesnar in 1933 by pinfall with a fast roll-up. Again, it's another roll-up victory, which isn't maybe what I see at SummerSlam, but it's building these guys up and showing that, you know, shocks can happen and building up effectively the new guard. So a B plus 83 is still fairly respectable, because it's the third main event. We've still got another 2 main events to go. AJ Styles has a 90 rating in ring performance, Lesnar's an 85. Storyline continues, although Brock will probably go on hiatus until probably the Royal Rumble. No skill improvements to speak of. Negatives here. Declaring physical ability for both gentlemen, so that's a worry. You know, these are aging guys in the booking decisions, but hopefully a good chance to put AJ Styles further over. The match is over though, AJ Styles is celebrating, and because of this, and because it was a roll-up, Brock Lesnar gets pissed off and just beats him up. So I thought it was a good way to get a rating up here, showed that although Brock's been defeated, still makes him look really, really strong. So he beats up AJ Styles after the match, an A90 rating, which is superb. Pretty weak announcing job, so that's disappointing, but AJ Styles came across well, continues the storyline, and if I ever want to get back to it, you know, there's at least something I can say I mind what happened between these two. Next up, we've got a video hyping up Seth Rollins versus Triple H. Of course, Seth Rollins went for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at our last event, where he was screwed in the main event against Roman Reigns by Triple H. So B plus 84 here, and a chance to try and get Seth Rollins a bit further over. As much as I've got Reigns, AJ Styles, and Dean Ambrose to the next level, Seth Rollins kind of missed out a little bit because of injury. But we'll see how this does, this matchup. Very good. I was actually a wee bit surprised because obviously Triple H is not an active in-ring competitor. I can use him, again, as an occasional wrestler, but like Brock Lesnar, it's only every so often. When I'm out that had fantastic heat and great wrestling, Seth Rollins defeated Triple H in 21-17 by pinfall with a God's last gift. This was a B plus 87, pretty solid as I say. Seth with a 90, Triple H with a 74, and the Injustice storyline continues with this. Probably keep Triple H back to an authority figure, but that's a good performance for him. We'll probably get something worked out for him for WrestleMania if that's the case. Negatives there, just Triple H's low morale, because don't use him all the time, and the declining physical ability. Next up, we've got Dean Ambrose cutting a promo for our main event. He's cashing his Money in the Bank briefcase. He wants that one-on-one match with his former brother. So Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns is your SummerSlam main event, a B plus 88. Remember, if anybody's wondering, Kevin Owens and John Cena are both injured. Kurt Angle's retired on me. He's became a manager. We're waiting on a certain team coming up from development when the time's right. I think you can imagine who it's going to be. We then get the hype video for the match, because obviously there's been so many angles and stuff like that between Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. So that's a B plus 87. So again, pretty happy with that. The match itself, I was a little bit worried about because of the psychology thing, but I had to do this main event. So despite the fact both of them have great in-ring performances and stuff, the rating was going to suffer. But it's still decent, it still should be enough to gain us enough pop. But in an exceptional match, Roman Reigns defeated Dean Ambrose in 21-49 by pinfall after using a foreign object. So again, keep my title in Roman Reigns, the Roman Empire. Just shows if you've turned Roman heel, still be Dynamite. 4th title defence for Reigns. So B81 could have been a bit better, but the psychology aspect wasn't great. Hopefully, the longer they keep in the main event and feuding with likes of AJ Styles and other guys, both guys can take their psychology up a little bit. Both will improve from C+, I think it is, to B-. So they're getting there with psychology. It still needs to get to a better level, but if we can keep working on with other guys, then hopefully they'll gain that psychology thing. Maybe they'll gain like a spot where that actually improves their psychology. So things like that. But 96 for Ambrose, 93 for Reigns is fantastic. The Injustice storyline will continue. They're part of that as well. Negatives, I say, psychology, and both gentlemen holding back. And we finish the show with Dean Ambrose isn't really celebrating. Basically, the idea of the finish is Roman Reigns just beats them down. So similar to Brock Lesnar, but except this time, Reigns just shows I'm the champion. I've beaten my brother in the main event, and he kicks the shit out of him. Beats him down, reigns supreme. We still have the Roman Empire, the heel champion, ahead of the company. So A91 to finish the show. We should maybe get about a B+ 85, I'm hoping. So the announcement was pretty weak. Everything deserved better commentating, but that just shows the level we've got in Roman Reigns too. He was a real star in this segment, so again, turning him heel has worked wonders. Your negatives there, being short, and the announce team. So close, we get a B+ 84, so it's increasing our popularity in just 11 regions. It could have maybe been a little bit better, but I felt like that was the main event match we had to do. The psychology thing's just a shame, but if we keep working on with like AJ Styles, Jericho, like that, then hopefully we can get them up and we can get the matches to be 90s, get us maybe even close to that perfect show. But in terms of who we're going to give a speech to, I think Seth Rollins is one. I think Triple H is another. And I like to pause it for my post-show speeches. So I think the third one I'm going to go with is Cesaro, and just say, good example, and Cesaro praised for a great performance. So Seth's pleased, Triple H is pleased, Cesaro's pleased. Could the show have been a bit better? Possibly, if we ended with a Triple H and Seth Rollins match, but it's one of those things. We just have to deal with it. It's not a negative, we're still making money. The industry's still it's still in the middle. It's not at the highest level that it could be at. So we have to add all these aspects in as well. And so once the workers fully develop, we should be okay. Okada wins the G1 Climax tournament for 2016. Anything else there that's massive? Not overly. Let's have a wee look then. Rich Brennan wants to come up from development, so he's probably going to get released like real life because there's not really anything for him. Sheamus' booking complaint, I don't have anything for him. By far the biggest pay-per-view buy because obviously it's more prestigious than the others, with 9.28 and 4,000 for a drug test. So that's perfectly fine there. I'll sort out Rich Brennan and that after the video. And I've signed Brian Cage to a 1-year development contract. He'll join NXT next week. And of course we're conducting a new 5-year deal for Dean Ambrose. But it's good at the moment, 47 million, that'll drop significantly next week because obviously we've got all our debts to pay off and stuff like that. But if we get it to maybe like 43 million, I may start looking at the WWE network. But things are getting good. Size, everything here is in the 70s. I think we need, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need another 2 to get over 71. We get to international. No massive rush for it. As I say, the way we're going, it can wait a little bit of time, but that's promising. But Prestige 83, Momentum 84 is good. Usual looks, we'll see what our Prestige titles. So 71 on Sami Zayn. So we've gained the IC title, a good bit of prestige, although that may suffer a little bit because Zayn won't be the most over guy in the world. His popularity is 63, so he's had a little gain from that. Considering he started at 45 and we've got him up to a 63, that's pretty good progress so far on Sami Zayn. The US title with Kevin Owens, obviously it's down at 70 at the moment. We did get as high as 71. KO is still injured. He is due back in 5 days, so he'll be back pretty shortly. And we'll think a storyline for Kevin Owens. It's a shame he was feuding with Kurt Angle beforehand, but with his injury, his retirement, and his injury, that's no go. The Women's Championship is at 62. I don't think that's changed. Nope, still at 62. We've already given a reign to Charlotte, who had it for pretty much 2 months. Becky Lynch had it for May, June, July, August. And Sasha's going to have a little run with it now, but I do want to try and give him as many title runs as possible and just try and raise the overall prestige of the belt. The tag titles is at C70, C plus 70, so that's went up by 2. It was a good run with the New Day. That's saying pretty much went a year with the titles, but I feel like it's time to end the New Day and a chance to push Nakamura. Nakamura up to 47 in most places, so not amazing. We should just run a show in Japan and it'll be fine. But considering we got him from my 20s, great, but I still feel like there's a lot of work to go to get him to the level I want to try and get him close to a main event if possible. Hideo, on the other hand, absolutely fantastic. 62 over in the USA. His progress has came great from 35, so he's just really made use of the fact that Shinsuke was injured and he's ran with it. And the World Heavyweight Championship is still only a 78 prestige, which isn't great. It's down quite a bit. So I'd have thought Roman Reigns would have carried the title to the next level. It's not really happened, but it is 7. I suppose it is 7 down, but he's had a good run with it so far. 4 title defences since he won it at WrestleMania. But the whole thing with Roman Reigns, like 94, 95 over, like, I mean, look at that. Solid A's in most places apart from Scandinavia and New Zealand, and a couple of places in the UK where I don't have TV deals, which because I don't have a deal in Scotland. These are places I'll just need to suffer until we get the WWE network up and running. But like starting at 77, like 91 at the start of the month, and up at 94 now is only good for Roman Reigns. So happy with that. So quick look at the creative meetings. So I said John Cena will still be the same guy, but 88. So he's not the main guy, but you know he's going to be back from his injury pretty shortly. He is one of those ones. It's pretty much at the same level he started at. Had a little rise, but the injury hasn't helped him. AJ Styles, 89s, some places you get as high as 91, so he's really just at that kind of level. I don't think he's going to peak any higher. But you see there, considering he started at 65 when he debuted, the fact that that feud with Roman Reigns has elevated him pretty much to the main event level. He will get a title run at one point, hopefully before he's 40. Dean Ambrose is another one. 89, some places 86s, some places 91s. Again, he wasn't really over to start with, 75s. And again, he's been one guy we've pushed hard and he's got good results there. So pretty happy with Dean Ambrose. As I say, we've seen Reigns. Seth, that victory over Triple H doesn't really help him that much, which is disappointing. Maybe needs a couple of victories to get him to that next level. As I say, he was injured for so long, and I wasn't putting him over Roman just yet. So interesting there. Next big things is still Paige, as she works beside Rollins. She's up to 45. What prospects? Well, look at Becky Lynch. Becky is now 46s and 47s, so she's dropped a little bit with that defeat to Sasha. Got her up to a 48, but again from a 25, it was a good increase. The other one I want to look at is of course Sasha, who with that win over Becky, yep, she gets the big boost from it, so that's ideal. She's almost over Diva. Starting at 40 though, so she was in a good position, but going from 40, 40, 50 over in the US to start with is good for her, and hopefully we can push her on. Talk, not really anyone there. I don't think there's anyone there we need to look at. Ringside Generals, I say Shinsuke we've looked at up to 47s. We'll give him a run on the tag titles. Guys on a run of momentum, Cesaro, who's at 65, so let's just try to really push him up to that next level. Easier said and done, but Cesaro, Reigns, Cena, Machine Gun, and Nakamura are on the run of momentum. Who's not is Natalia, Tamina, The Miz, Goldust, and Curtis Axel, so we'll maybe give the Miz stuff, but everybody else is really there as enhancement talents. Sorry to say, none of them have any futures with us up at the moment. Team Decline, as you would expect, Jericho, Batista, Kane, Triple H, and Taker. And Hidden Gems. At the moment, Jesse White, Mickey James, Ken Doan, Ryan Nemeth, and Johnny Eminger. So every one of them is a former WWE talent in some sort of capacity, whether it be development or not. They don't have pictures at the moment, but if they get signed, they will be a signed one. So we're in a decent position. My next show, my next event is Night of Champions in a month's time. So you've got 4 weeks build. It's interesting to see if anyone wants to come up from development. Obviously, with the medical side of things, Cena will be back. I'll probably just leave Cena till after it. Kevin Owens will be back to defend the US title. Luke Harper's not long after that. Randy Orton will actually be back for our next event as well, so we need to figure out plans for Randy Orton. Tyson Kidd still a little bit. As you can see there, the shoulder tendonitis is still a year and 2 weeks for GSO, and Jack Swagger still in rehab for another 3 months and 1 week. But so we've got 2 stacked development companies. Hopefully someone will want to come up from there, and I might cut some deadwood, the likes of Darren Young. I might even cut Kane, Big Show, R-Truth. People I'm not really going to use, just they don't fit any what I'm trying to build here, and they're maybe a bit older than the talents we're trying to bring through. Apart from that, that is a roundup for SummerSlam. I hope you enjoyed the episode, guys. As I say, it's been a good save so far. I'm enjoying it. I'm still getting used to a few of the features and stuff like that, but overall we're getting good ratings. And as I say, it's just really for fun. For fun, and booking WWE. Not necessarily the way I want it to go, but just having fun, and like this is how maybe Roman should be booked, and various others. As I say, thanks for watching, guys. It's deeply appreciated. If you enjoyed the show, if you want to drop a wee like, it's deeply appreciated. Any feedback regarding the series, how you felt my show went, what wrestlers have you noticed in a real world mod that maybe should have better psychology skills, and do let me know. They'll reply back in the comments section below, either on Reddit if you've watched this from Reddit, or on the Grey Dog Software website if you've viewed it from there. As always, guys, thanks for watching. It's deeply appreciated, and yeah, just keep enjoying the game. And as Xavier Woods would say, keep it tight.